Good morning, Troop 539. It's Mr. Scribner here with a video instruction on how to start a fire using a bow and drill. Currently, we're down in our family room, and I just wanted to go over with you some of the supplies that you're going to need to do this. You're going to want, of course, your jackknife. Now, this is a knife that I use, and I like using the carbon steel because carbon steel will work on your flint and steel, or on your flint, as opposed to a stainless steel one will not. You won't really use that in this demonstration, but you are going to need to use it for other purposes. And then of course we have our bow. This is my bow. Usually your bow, you want to curve like this, and it should be about your arm length, and then you just take a piece of rope and attach it at each end, like such, like I've got here. Now, one thing that you can't really see very well is I actually have little notched grooves here so that my rope will stay down in here on both ends, and you'll notice a little sag in here, and that's for a reason. So that's your bow. This is your drill. And the reason you have that sag in your string on your bow is because you want to be able to send your drill up through the bow like such and wrap it around, and so that you can see when you move the bow back and forth, it will spin the drill. And there's a little bit of tension. It's not holding it so tight that it won't spin. So that's your drill, and then this is your base for your drill. You can see I have a bunch of different burn holes already from using this. I want to talk about these two pieces right here briefly, because this is going to be the most important key to this component. The type of wood you use for this. These are both cedar. Cedar is a really good piece of wood to use around where we live because it's got a low burn point, as in the amount of heat that you need to generate in order to create an ember is lower than what it would be for, say, a hardwood. However, it's also really resistant to moisture. You don't want to use something such as pine, because we all know what pine pitch is, and that resin in the pine pitch actually acts as a coolant. When you're trying to create these embers, you're using heat friction, and the resin acts as a coolant, so you won't really get a proper ember. Plus, pine absorbs water pretty quickly. So this is what I've got, cedar. And so what you'll notice here is my drill, it's about 1 inch in diameter, and you can see all these different spots here on this. There's a mark here where I was going to make my next notch, and you want that notch to be about halfway so that the edge of your drill lines up with the edge of the board, right? And you can also see on these other spots where I've burnt, they've got these little V notches there, and you can see I've started making the marks for the next one. The reason that is there, and it kind of, you can see this is the hole we're going to use today. That notch right there is so that when you're turning your drill, the ember falls down into that notch. There's airflow so that your ember will not starve for air and then go out. So those are pretty important. You'll notice this is just rounded. This has been, I've used my knife to kind of flatten the side so it's not perfectly round, and that helps the string on the bow turn it a little more freely. And then the top part is more of a pointy end, and the reason is we want more friction down here than we do up here, because when we hold on, we get to our next component here, you want this part to turn easy so it doesn't get as hot, and this part to be where the friction is created so it creates that heat to create an ember. The next piece is this little piece of steel that I have. You could also find a soft rock. You'll notice in here, you can see a little dimple in the middle of that. That's going to be on top of your drill, okay? And that's going to allow you to have a handle so that you can turn your drill. If you don't have one of these, this is a pretty cool piece because you can also use this as a striker for another form of primitive fire making, which we can get into in a later segment. But this is nice because it allows it to spin easily. If you don't have one of these, you can use a soft rock. I would recommend just finding something in a riverbed or in a ditch that's about the size of the palm of your hand and feels comfortable to hold on to, and then just take your knife, or probably better off would be a harder rock, and make a dimple such as this in the middle of that little rock. Um, Next piece we have, this is our tinder ball. This is just a piece of hair fiber from like baling twine or hemp rope or what have you. Something that it will take pretty quickly, so we can start a tinder ball, and then move, you know, as we typically start a fire, build small and go up. Here I have a piece of aluminum foil, and this aluminum foil will go into when we get outside and get set up. Uh, you're going to want to set your piece of wood on top of here, so that you can let your ember fall into this aluminum, and then you can pick up the aluminum, move it in, and scoop it into your tinder ball to get it going. Nature, you could use a green leaf, you could use a piece of birch bark, birch paper from a birch bark. What you want to avoid though with using your ember catch, let's call it, would be something wet, because obviously your ember is going to be about the size of a BB, so you're going to have it get wet, and then it's not going to work. It's not going to come to it's going to get very frustrating. So those are our components. I have just my little brush clippers here, because, you know, I've already clipped off a couple of small twigs to use for creating our tinder. So we're gonna pack up in here, and we'll go ahead outside and we'll put this to work out there. So we'll see you in the next segment. Okay, so we're back outside now. I've got my board set up on top of my foil to catch my ember when it's made. This is the twine tinder ball. And once you get your tinder ball lit, this is the type of stuff that you would use to get your fire started. You've got some dried sticks, small ones. I think all of you guys know that. And then you've got I got dried leaves to help assist my tinder ball in getting those sticks going. And of course, one of our 4 C's of the outdoor code, careful with fire. I've got a fire extinguisher here nearby in case I need it. So, in order to use my bow and drill, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the round end, I'm going to stick it up through. Then I'm going to twist like that. So I'm going to stick it right up through, twist, so that when you're holding it, it's going to be like such. And then one thing that you're really going to want to do is step down on your board, and you're going to want to hold the board down with your foot so it doesn't move, obviously. And then I always like to lock my elbow around my knee, and then I just start going like this. Now, I'm not pushing down. I'm not pushing down on my holder here. I'm just holding this drill straight up, and I'm just doing gentle forward and backward strokes. Okay? And I'm going like such. And it'll take a few minutes, but it will create an ember. When you think you're going to see some smoke down at the bottom of here, okay? And when you think you see smoke out of there, what I would recommend is not pulling this up to look to see if you have an ember, because if it's not there, it's going to cool down and you're going to lose. You're going to have to basically start from scratch again. What I would recommend is just tipping it back like so and peering around to see if you've got smoke coming from below where that notch is. If it's coming from down there, then you have an ember smoking down there. If it's just coming from the bottom of the drill, it's not an ember yet. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my creation of an ember. Okay, we've got a nice little ember. Now here's a point where you don't want to rush. If it's smoking, you're good. Then you just take your foil, gently scoop your ember into your tinder ball, and then blow onto it. So I hope you all enjoyed the video on how to use a bow and drill to start a fire. Those primitive methods of starting a fire are really fun. They're challenging. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. It's great stuff. And Jackson and I have been, my son Jackson, for those that don't know him, we've been working on doing stuff like that throughout this time of being the stay-at-home period due to the quarantining of COVID-19. I want to let you all know that the troop is thinking about all of you, that we're all in this together. I talk with troop leadership pretty regularly. We're trying to be respectful of the amount of online interaction that you folks have to have throughout this time that we're going through. But we are going through it all together. As far as I know, summer camp is still going as scheduled. If there's anything that you need, whether it's a merit badge, whether you're having a question about rank advancement, feel free to reach out to myself, Mr. Gates, or Mr. Jewett. We're all here to help you. There's been a lot of discussion about what the best way we could support families through this period is. And I think it's a very fluid situation that we find ourselves in. I know from my personal experience, my family has had to adjust every few days to something new in our program. So we're being very conscious of the fact that you guys are all going through so much, but you're still yet trying to give you some scouting curriculum. If you have any questions, if you want to learn a new skill, reach out. We have several talented scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters, and committee members that can share a skill such as the one I just showed with you, and we can make it in a brief video format that you can watch at your convenience. You can rewind if you have a question, or if you want to go further in depth with a part that you can't really tell from the video, just reach out to me or to whomever is presenting the video. But anyway, years in scouting, I'm proud to be your scoutmaster, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the field with all of you guys and enjoying the summer camping, etc. Throughout Virgins. Our troop is strong. We're up to 37 scouts with the crossover, so it's a lot of people to be idle, but we're going to get through this. Thank you, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.